Hey guys, so as last week was such of a hot mess, I thought we would kick off this week with a currently reading, like where I'm up to and everything, so we have like a strong basis to start the vlog on. So I'm still reading Game of Thrones, of course, it's a chunky beast, and I'm on page 208 of this. I am absolutely loving this and I just want to dedicate all of my time to it. Like, how many times can I say that? But seriously, it's true. And then in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, I think I abandoned it like mid-chapter, but I'm halfway through the chapter Mud, Bloods and Murmurs, and I have about 200 pages left of this. Over the weekend I filmed Bookopoly Part 2, which you will have seen by now, and there's a lot on it. It's making me a little bit nervous having so much on it, just because I really want to get it done. And unlike last month when I did my January TBR, I had a couple of expendable books. Like, I didn't have to start Game of Thrones in January and I ended up not reading The Hunger Games. However, this month I have to read every single book on my Bookopoly TBR, so that's making me a little bit nervous. So Chamber of Secrets, to be on track for Ryan's read along, needs to be done by, I think Friday is the first day of the month. Game of Thrones needs to be done by the end of the month, but ideally I want to double the progress I've made so far and reach page 400 so that I am about halfway, which puts me on track for this book and like my own read along. As well as having a lot on my TBR for February, February is also the shortest month of the year, so I'm a little bit worried, but I don't think I'm doing much in February. I'm going to see Mayday Parade at some point, and I think that's my only plans. Me and my boyfriend will do something for Valentine's Day. But for me to be on track going into February, I have to read 100 pages a day at least, which will put me at finishing this tomorrow night and halfway through this by the time February starts. After that, I've worked out that through all of the books on my TBR for February, I have to read 101 pages per day. It's gonna be a lot, guys, but we're gonna do this. Every single book on my February TBR is short, okay? So you have this that's a beast, but I've already started it. And then we have one book that's 489 pages, one book that's 404 pages, and everything else is under 400 pages. So I'm pretty sure that we can do it. I just need, give me some morale, you know? Like, give me some motivation and support, because like I need it right now. I'm freaking out a little bit because I've set myself this challenge. I'm like committed, and then also like the books that I did pull for Bookopoly, some of them like I'm not excited to read, you know. So it's going to be a struggle, but we're going to struggle through this together and see where we end up. But I'm going to go now because I do have to edit last week's vlog and get that exporting before I can pick up Chamber of Secrets and try and read 100 pages tonight. Hey guys, so I'm looking a little bit rough because I just got back from the gym, but I wasn't like intending to do a vlog update, but I thought I'd just let you know where I'm at while I have my stuff set up, because I was doing a update for my Game of Thrones book diary. So I'm still in love with this, and obviously I'm not going to tell you any spoilers, but I did just read a chapter that absolutely blew my mind. So I was updating on that and I thought I'd check in with you guys while I'm here. So Game of Thrones, I'm on page 264 of this. Now, it's the 30th of January today, and tomorrow is the last day of the month, and I wanted to be done with Chamber of Secrets and halfway through this by the end of tomorrow. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen yet. I'm going to go read the last 60 pages of Chamber of Secrets, like fingers crossed I'll finish it now. And then I think my plan is going to be, because I've just added 2 books to my TBR that I have to read, and I'm not sure if I can tell you what they are yet, but it's for like a read along, so I have to read those as well. But I think when it rolls over February 1st, I'm going to have this as my home book, because I've found it hard to like read it on my lunch, and then by the time I've come to do a reading vlog update, like a book diary update, I have just so much to say, and the updates are getting really long. So I think I'm going to have this as my home book so I can update the book diary more regularly and also make more progress than I am on my lunch breaks. And I'm going to switch my first Bookopoly book to my lunch breaks. I will let you know whether that is what I actually do, but that's the plan for now. I'm planning to read like The Wind in February. Yesterday I was in such a reading mood, but I was doing that thing, like got to work in the morning and I was like checking the library app on my phone and seeing if they had some new releases, that I'd seen in Waterstones in my library so I could put my name down on the reservations for them, and they did. So I was like reserving books, and I was like, I don't have space in my TBR for these. I already have 3 books out from the library. But it was like really motivating me to read, and I was in that mood, and I'm sure you can relate. And it's the mood where you feel like if you just had a book in your hand right that second, you would easily read like 20 books in a month because you were just so motivated to read. But then I often feel like with those moods, you spend more time motivating yourself to read than actually reading. So then while I was at work and I was working, I was watching Booktube, which was motivating me to read. But then I came home and I didn't read all that much. So I'm still in that mood, and I'm still really motivated to fly through my TBR in February. I'm reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, as you know, and I am really enjoying it. But I think because I'm reading the illustrated version, I mean, I know it's not about the quantity of books that you read, but when you feel like you're making progress, you're spurred on to read more. So with the problem I'm having with the Harry Potter illustrated editions is that, especially in Chamber of Secrets, there are a lot more full double pages of text than there was in the Philosopher's Stone, and they take longer to read than a normal page. So I'm reading probably more standard size book pages, but not very many illustrated pages, and I just feel like I'm not making much progress in that at all, and I'm feeling quite demotivated with that. So I really would like to get through the last 60 pages of that tonight, and then I can blast through this, because guys, like, I cannot even describe how much I am loving Game of Thrones right now. I really didn't think I would like it this much. I even want to pick up more by George R.R. Martin, but the problem I'm having is that I don't know whether I'm loving this and really attached, because I have the show as a reference, so everything has imagery in my mind, like I can picture everything. Everybody has different voices in my brain, so I'm not sure if I tried another book by him I would find it really dense and hard to read. Although while I was at the library last week, I did notice that they have, is it called Night Flyers or Night Liars by him? And I know Books and Lala really like some of his compendiums. I think he has one called like Rogues and one called Women. So I'm gonna like check something else out by him. Probably only when I finish Game of Thrones, so like in November. But yeah, I'm loving this, and I'm just really shocked by how much. If we're swaying, it's because my ring light is balanced a little bit precariously. So it's Friday today, and I did finish Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling on Wednesday when I said I was going to, so I did actually manage to get that done. I gave it 4 stars in total. I enjoyed it more than the Philosopher's Stone. I didn't love it, but what I will say is that it doesn't really necessarily feel like middle grade. Like, I have read much worse written, or like more simply written young adult books than Harry Potter. So I do appreciate that, because like while it's not overly complex, it doesn't feel ridiculously easy reading it. Like, it doesn't feel like it's lacking substance or anything like that. Like, no shade on children's books, it's just now that I've moved into the realm of reading really dense high fantasies, every time I open a book I expect it to be really complex, and I completely understand that that is like a cognitive thing that's happening in me, and it's not the fault of the books, it's just that I go into books wanting certain things from them, and obviously like a middle grade or a children's book is not going to deliver those exact things that I'm looking for in like that I'm expecting from high fantasy works. So like, it's completely on me, but I definitely enjoyed this more than Philosopher's Stone. What I will say is that like when I was at the last 60 pages, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the last section, but everything seems to happen like right at the end. Like, we were up to page 200 of 260 and Harry still didn't know anything. Like, the main events of the book just hadn't kicked off yet, which is like a little bit surprising to me, but I do enjoy the meandering like as we're getting there, and all the atmosphere and being at Hogwarts and things like that. But at the same time, like, I just keep thinking there's so much that has to happen yet and literally nothing has happened. But yeah, 4 stars. Not going to dwell on that for much longer because it's Harry Potter, it's pretty self-explanatory. The last time we spoke I said that I had to be at page 400 of Game of Thrones by the end of the month, which was yesterday was the last day of the month. I keep saying that I'm so excited to have Game of Thrones as my priority book, and yeah, I am. And last night was my chance to have literally nothing else as my current read apart from Game of Thrones. Did I read any? No. I read like 25 pages before I went to bed, but last night I had to take my gels off because they were peeling. It was time for them to come off. and put some new ones on, so that did take a while. And while I do my nails, I watch TV. It's like one of the only times that I really sit down and watch a considerable amount of television. So I was catching up on Riverdale, and then I decided to start the Ted Bundy tapes, and that's pretty much all I did for the rest of the night. So I did not continue with Game of Thrones. I am currently on page 308, so I have a little ways to go, but I am still doing what I said I was. This is going to be my main home book, and I've picked up another book for my lunch at work. So the book that I'm reading at work is Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the last book in the Wolves of Mercy Falls, and it is my first Bookopoly roll book, and I think I landed on paranormal or magical realism, and this is a paranormal story about werewolves. So there's not a lot of plot to this. It's very character driven, and I know I've been a bit of a Debbie Downer about it, like in my other videos. I actually enjoy it. Like, I'm on page 63, so I'm making good progress on this. I like it. It's just that there's no plot. That's the thing. Like, character driven stories, I enjoy them, but I do also need plot. So what I will say is that this is absolutely beautifully written. Like, if I just read you the first couple of lines of the prologue: I can be so quiet. Haste ruins the silence. Impatience squanders the hunt. I take my time. I am silent as I move through the darkness. Dust hangs in the air of the nighttime wood. The moonlight makes constellations of the particles where it creeps through the branches overhead. It's like super beautifully written, and there's quite a few perspectives in this. There's at least 4 main perspectives, although 2 of them aren't as frequent as the other 2, and Maggie Stiefvater does a really good job of keeping all of the perspectives separate. I do really love the audiobooks for these. That's how I read the majority of the first 2 books in the series, but Scribd doesn't have the 3rd one available in the UK for some reason. Like, it has 1, 2 and 4, but not number 3. So I'm like sad about that, because I love the audiobooks. They're just really relaxing and peaceful, and I think it's because of how beautiful the prose is. So I really love the writing, and there's definitely like things that I enjoy about this. It's just the lack of plot, which is why like it's kind of a drag reading them. I'm happy with the progress I've made with that today. So now I just have a couple of things to tell you, and the first one is that I've completely forgotten all of my TBR videos and everything to say that I am taking part in the Booktube Games, which is a month-long readathon that's hosted by my Honor from, I think is she called Little Wolf Reads now? She did change her channel name not long ago. I'll put a link to it in the description box, although it is too late to sign up at the moment. And essentially the Booktube Games is where you sign up, you join a team, and the team is like a different fictional place. I'm in Team Ketterdam, and the team that reads the most amount of pages throughout the month of February wins. So I just thought I would mention that, because I've completely forgot to say that I'm taking part, and the reason for that is that I don't have a TBR for it. I'm literally just reading my TBR and like racking up the pages to count towards that readathon. The second thing I can tell you now, and it was the reason that I had to add 2 books to my TBR that aren't in my Bookopoly video, and that is that I am co-hosting the second live show for the Hunger Along, hosted by Rhiannon from Crescent Moon Reads. So I'm co-hosting the Catching Fire show, which means that I need to read The Hunger Games and Catching Fire, because I didn't have time to squeeze it into January. So that's 10 books on my TBR now that I got to get through, and I have to read every single one, because 4 of the read-alongs I'm taking part in, and the other 6 are Bookopoly, and if I don't do those then I get punished. So it's gonna be a hectic month. The only other thing I have to say is that I have added a couple of things into my description box. I'm not going to be mentioning them at the end of every video. I think the next video I'm putting up is going to be my wrap up, so I will mention it there, but like I won't mention it any other time. But I have added my email address for any business inquiries, and also an address that's like a PO box. So if anybody wants to send me anything for review, any products or books to review, or gifts, or I don't know, anything you might want to send me, there is an address in my description box for that. So I'm gonna go and play Fortnite in a little while. I have 15 minutes. I'm gonna play Fortnite with Ryan, and then I'm gonna do some reading tonight. Might watch some TV. I don't know, I'm feeling really optimistic about this Friday, and there's just so many things that I want to do, and I'm not quite sure what it is I am actually gonna do yet. guys, so I haven't checked in with you over the weekend, and that is pretty much because I haven't read much over the weekend. Really, I should have hopped on here yesterday to wrap up the vlog because I'm a really pedantic person that doesn't like carrying, like, this is last week's vlog and I don't like doing it on Monday, but I had like a really meh evening yesterday, so I didn't really fancy hopping on camera either. As you can see, like, last night I washed my hair and I haven't even bothered to straighten it, so like my natural hair without straighteners is triangular and bushy as hell, so I need to fix this. But I had a pretty shitty day yesterday, so I'm going to be putting this vlog up late because I have an announcement video I'm announcing tomorrow that I will be co-hosting the rereadathon, as you may have seen by the time you watch this vlog. So this vlog's going up a little bit late, I am sorry about that, but I'm just feeling like the stress a little bit in the minute, and usually with having an announcement going up on Tuesday I would have put my vlog up on Monday and then like had my usual content for the rest of the week, but I just don't want to put the added pressure on myself this week of editing an extra video and having 4 up. I may still put a book diary up on Friday because I do have a couple that I have footage for that I need to edit, but yeah, I just didn't want the pressure of like putting another full video this week. So I'm just gonna let you know where I got up to. So I was reading Game of Thrones, which I'm kind of flying through, but at the same time I'm reading it really slowly, so it takes me a while to read like each individual chapter and like actually process the information. So I made it up to page 429 of A Game of Thrones, and then I decided to switch back to Forever, and I made it to page 100 in this. I read essentially 100 pages over the entire weekend, which is not good. So that's about where I'm up to and what I achieved this week. As soon as I finish this clip, I'm about to start next week's vlog and sort of like do my currently reading, etc. So like I obviously don't need to bore you with the details now because you've watched this entire vlog. I'm hoping that next week is a little better on the reading front, and also I'm feeling a little better mentally. But thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like this if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. All my usual stuff's in the description box, and I'm gonna go now, guys. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.